As we get into week 3, it's really important for us to understand the concept of lists and dictionaries inside of Python. So to start with, I want to just go through some basic examples of lists and dictionaries within Python. So I'm going to create a new week 3 folder. So under weekly assignments, I'm going to create a new folder called week 3. And I want to work in that folder, so I'm going to create a new branch for the week 3. So I'm going to change my working directory into the weekly assignments folder, which is my GitHub repository, my Git repository. I'm going to go ahead and do a Git branch of week 3, and then I'm going to check out week 3 so we can start working there. And I should be able to see that if I do a git status, I'm on branch 3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And what I want to do in week 3 is I'm going to create a new file. Okay, and I'm going to call it lists and dictionaries. .py. Okay, so just kind of as a general rule of thumb, if I have a list, so let's say I have a collection of students or a collection of books or a collection of files or a collection of users, whenever I have a collection and it's a list, so I'm going to call it my list, it's always going to be square brackets. So square brackets indicates to me that I'm dealing with a collection. Okay, so that's kind of the key point there is whenever I see these square brackets in Python code, I'm dealing with a collection. And in Python we call them lists, but in other programming languages we might call them arrays or but basically what I want you to take away from the fact that I'm using square brackets is that we have a collection of certain items. Okay, and they don't all have to be the same, but there's multiple items in this collection. In our case, list, because it's a Python list. Okay, and the way we access elements in our list is, let's say I can take my list and I can append elements to it, right? So I can append 1, 2, 3, and that works fine. Okay, and I can print my list, and if I want to go ahead and run this file, I should be able to run this file, and I should be naming it with an underscore. I meant to type an underscore there, and I used just a hyphen instead of an underscore. Okay, so now if I go ahead and run this, now you'll see that I have that list that contains 3 numeric values, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I can append to it and then I can print it. If I want to access a specific element in the list, then I use a numeric index. So if I say I want to access the element at index 0, that's the first element that I added, so I should get 1 when I access that element. Okay, so I can use numeric indexes to index into that list to refer to a specific element, either 1, which is at index 0, 2, which is at index 1, or 3, which is at index 2. So we're always starting at 0 index and incrementing from there. But we're going to index into that collection or that list using numeric values. Okay, so that's how I'll deal with a list. If I want to talk about my dictionary, okay, if I'm talking about a specific dictionary, I'm going to use curly braces to indicate that I have a dictionary. And what a dictionary is a set of key value pairs. Okay, so for instance, I might want my dictionary to have a key and a value of key 1, value 1, key 2, value 2, and then I can print out the value using the key to index into it. So in this case, I'm going to my dictionary and I'm accessing the value in the first key, which will have a value of 1. Okay, so if I go ahead and run this, you can see that I get value 1 when I'm accessing that dictionary. Okay, so to give you a better example, a real working example, I'm going to go out to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, can you generate a Python list that contains 10 student dictionary objects. Each student should have a name, email, age, and a collection of courses that they have taken. The collection of courses should be a course object that contains a title and number of credits field. Okay, so ChatGPT is just going to generate all of that data for me, and you can see what they're doing is they're creating a variable called student. It is a collection, or in our case, a list, right? So the square brackets are telling me it's a list, and then the elements in the list are dictionaries, and I know that based on the curly braces. And then the dictionary itself contains keys. So name, email, age, and courses. Those are the different keys. There's 4 keys there. And then corresponding values on the right-hand side. So you'll notice name and email are strings because they're in quotes. Age is a numeric value. It's not in quotes. And then the key courses actually contains another list that is a collection of dictionary objects for each course. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that code, and I'm going to bring it over to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to replace what I have here. Okay, so those are my student objects. I'm just going to minimize this output window. Okay, so this is my collection of students. I think there's probably 10 of them because that's what I asked for. And then what I want to do is I want to print out each student's name. Okay? So let's say I just want to print out Alice Johnson to start with. So if I want to print out Alice Johnson, that's the first student's name. So I'm going to print out students at index 0, and I want the name, which should give me Alice Johnson. Okay, and we can just verify that by running it. Okay, and you'll notice that I get Alice Johnson here. Okay, so let's say I wanted to print out all of the students, so not just the one student. I want to print out all of the students. I should be able to have for student in students. Then I should be able to do a print the student name. Okay, so a student in this case, so for student in students, this is basically creating a temporary variable for the current student as I'm going through this list. So every time I go through the list, I'm going to be referencing a new student. So as I go through the list, I'll be referencing this student, then I'll be referencing this student, then I'll be referencing this student. Right? As I go through the list, I'm referencing a new student each time. This variable student points at the current student that I'm actually looking at. So I'm just going to print out the name of that current student. So we should see that when I run this, I get my 10 student names. Okay, so I get all of the different students. Okay, so then let's say I wanted to print out the courses associated with each student. So I want to know the title of all the courses that each student has taken, and I want to group them by student. Okay, so I can do a nested loop. So for course in student courses, okay, and I'm using GitHub Copilot. That's why we're seeing all of this suggested code. But I don't want to print out the number of credits. What I want to do is I want to say I just want to print the course title. Okay, so for each course, I'm going to print the course title. And then I want to say that's for a given student. So I'm going to say, here's the student name. And then I'm going to print out courses. And then I'm going to print out just a collection of hyphens. Okay, and then I want to close after. I want to print out another collection of hyphens after I'm done printing all of the courses. So I'm going to outdent that. Okay, so if I go ahead and run this now, I should kind of get a formatted list. Okay, and if I look at my output, the idea is Alice Johnson has these courses. Then Brian Smith has these courses. And I actually don't like the look of how it's set up right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, here's how I want to change the printing. I just want to change the report a little bit. And if I scroll down, now you'll notice that I get student Jack Wilson has taken these courses. Right? And even now, I don't know that it's necessarily the greatest interface, but my point with all this is that you're able to recognize the fact that when we're dealing with a list, we're going to see square brackets show up. And then when we're dealing with a dictionary, we're going to see these curly braces show up. If we're indexing into the list, we want to use a numeric value to index into the list, or we're just going to loop through everything in the list. That's why we have this for student and students, to loop through all the students in the list. We can do it that way, or we can use numeric indexes to go through each student in the students. Okay, and then additionally, each student contains a dictionary of key value pairs, and then we're able to access those corresponding values by using the syntax student based on the key that we want to access, or course, and the title for that particular course. We're able to then use that key value to index into our dictionary. Okay, and this is going to be really important when we start dealing with AWS and dealing with the responses that we get back from our Bodo 3 AWS library. So the Bodo 3 AWS library is going to contain these lists and dictionaries that we're then going to have to be able to retrieve the various elements in the list and the various attributes in the dictionaries. So that's why it's important that we know how to use lists and dictionaries. Okay, so let's say I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm comfortable with lists and dictionaries. I'm ready to then move this file out to GitHub. It's kind of a temporary thing for week 3, so we haven't really done anything with the week 3 assignment. We're just getting started. But I should be able to say git add, and I want to make sure that I'm in the correct terminal window, so I'm going to go ahead and kill that terminal. I'm going to clear this. So I'm in my Git repository. I'm going to do a git add of week 3 / star. I'm going to git commit with a message starting week 3. And then I'm going to do a git push origin week 3. Okay. So basically my GitHub repository, if I go out to my GitHub repository, I should see that week 3 is now showing up. You'll see that I'm on the main branch right now. I'm going to switch to my week 3 branch. And you can see in my week 3 folder here, I have starting week 3 with my lists and dictionaries, which just got committed right now. Okay, so this is the start of week 3, and then in the next video we're going to start to jump into managing an EC2 instance with the Bodo 3 library.